Alright, troops, how yous doing? A fucking good day today. It's turned out alright, innit? I was out earlier and that, but I was going to do a live later, right? Because I've not done one in a wee while. And then I remembered obviously the football was on, so I checked to see what games were on, obviously. Because obviously you'll get cunts that watch like every fucking game. And I'm usually like that and all, but for some reason I've just not been following Euro 2024. Obviously been watching the Scotland games, but uh, Spain and Italy, and that's been about it. But obviously Italy, Spain and Germany are all playing tonight, so I was like, they can't got to be fucking want to tune into a live when it's fucking turned out to be a decent evening. And three of the biggest fucking teams in that competition are all playing tonight. So I thought, no what, fuck it. I'll just patch it live, do a video, and defo do a live this week. So sorry about that, but sorry what it is, not I mean, fuck it. But other than that, see the video I wanted to do, the new. It's it's about one of the most despicable human beings that I've ever met in my time in prison, right? And the guy who I'm talking about, he's Iranian, right? He's from Iran. Um, his name is Ahmad Yazdan Prast. Right now, I know that's a bit of a fucking mouthful, but his nickname was Chico, so I'm going to refer to him as Chico instead of saying that name all the time, not him. And I actually came across this guy in HMP Low Moss, and so see at the end of my section, right, there was like a cell for people like who weren't allowed to mix with others. So say like for talking sake you had tried to hurt yourself in another part of the jail or whatever, you were fucking mental ill or whatever, right? You would get put in this cell and you wouldn't be opened with the rest of us. You would be opened yourself and all that kind of shit. And I remember seeing him and he had all these bandages all on his up his arms and all that, right? Which will become more apparent when I kind of speak about what he was in for. And Chico was actually in for one of the worst possible crimes you could ever commit on another human being. Basically, what had happened is Chico was, for my research, for what I've read and all that, because there's a lot of media reports. This is quite a high profile case. It happened in Stirling. I believe it was the end of 2013, maybe 2014. It was one of the 2 years. Can't remember off the top of my head. He had his own businesses and all that, takeaways, all that shit, right? And his wife had a hair salon, right? And his takeaway was right above, directly above the hair salon, right? And his marriages hit the rocks, right? Now that they've had three children together. I believe it was a son and twin daughters. And the marriages hit the rocks, and he just became, the word toxic doesn't even cover this cunt, right? And I hate like how people like, one of the things that I don't like is when a psychological or a medical or a psychiatric term is overused in layman's terms, where it's like sometimes, like say you had an argument with your bird, or your bird had an argument with you, and one of yous accused the other one of being a narcissist without completely knowing what a narcissistic personality disorder really is. No, I'm no narcissist. I'm not a scholar in narcissistic personality disorder, but I know enough about it to kind of spot when some cunt's just a fucking absolutely narcissistic cunt, right? And off the top of my head, he's probably, no probably, if somebody said to me, who's the most narcissistic person you've ever met, I would say him, right? Um, and I remember when I was doing the research for this video, right, I found legal documents online. So there was these appeal papers, and there was also his, like, he was going through all this kind of, when his wife wanted a divorce and he didn't, right? So obviously it's went to court and all that, and they've been contesting like the financial element to, like, obviously because they had businesses and money and all that kind of stuff, doing well for themselves, you know what I mean? And I imagine, for what I can tell, he's just not been able to handle this. A woman gaining her independence, especially for a fucking minuscule wee fucking tyrannical puke like this cunt, right? And he was actually found in contempt of court. He was getting into court and smashing his head off the fucking well of the court and dropping to his knees and screaming in fucking Persian, Farsi, right? That's the language of Iran, Farsi or Persian. The two of them mean the kind of same thing if you're speaking about the language. And he's been dragged out of the fucking court screaming. That allowed that a fucking jury trial in the next courtroom could hear this commotion. And he's been accusing his wife. Now, these were accusations. He was accusing his wife, probably in his head, for the kind of assessment I have of him. Because I seen him after he got convicted and all that, he was put into Lomos. And he used to go to education every day. Nobody really bothered him, but what happened later to him. And when I say really bothered him, what I mean is nothing serious happened to him. When the teachers would go, cunts would bounce rubbers off his head and all that, and I used to fucking sit and pure bam him right up. I'd mimic him all the time. And he would sit and talk, and we'd just be sitting, like, you would see cunts just pure glaring at him. There was a mad atmosphere and every time he came in the class. But see, because the teachers were like these kind of 31-year-old young lassies and quite attractive and that, and they cunt would, well, I wouldn't anyway, I wouldn't want to just start battering the living shit out this cunt in a class when they were there. And if you would rewind this to the old me, I probably wouldn't have thought twice about that. But like, these people are just coming in to do a job, and you're not want to kind of fucking traumatise them like that, know what I mean? But anyway, getting a bit ahead, so he was doing all this mad shit, like just accusing his wife of adultery and fucking just try to fucking ruin his ex-wife's life, right? He just try to ruin the woman. And it's came to a horrific head when he's went and bought petrol, a canister, a jerry can or something of petrol, put it in a fucking, like, a hold all or something, and went to her place of work. And he's doused this poor woman and set her on fire, right? And this fucking cretin actually set his cell phone fire when he done this, and came running out the fucking shop and collapsed, the fucking idiot. Now that was why he was all bandaged up when he came into the prison, right? And the mad thing is, so obviously he's been charged, but somebody who was a passerby came back and said, like, what the fuck caused the fire or something, and he's been lying there going petrol. But he claimed he never said that, or he was confused when he said it. Fucking, just an absolute fucking piece of vermin, man, know what I mean? That could do that. Just, one of the worst ways to ever leave this earth, in my view, would be to die like that. And the poor woman suffered 95% burns. Like, that's unsurvivable, man. That's, you couldn't imagine the agony. Agony is not even a word that I think lends weight, like, to me, right? Agony is no, that couldn't even cover what that woman probably went through in her final hours, you know what I mean? And what her family, her kids and all that must have went through, especially knowing your dad done that. Do you know what I mean? Because obviously, I never had that. I never had a ma growing up. So, but I'm a human, and to do that, just that's another planet to me. You're just on another planet, mate. But anyway, he was arrested, remanded in custody and all that, and it's went to trial. But listen to this, you know the cunt, and he was doing this in the kind of the litigation with his divorce and all that. He was contesting the divorce. I don't think he believed this woman had a right to divorce him. This is how fucking much of a crackpot this cunt is, right? And he's sacking his lawyers, but I think his lawyers were probably walking out on this cunt because he was freaking out with him and all that, and screaming and fucking going for English to Farsi and back and forth and fucking beating his chest. Not a fucking just a pure space cadet, mate. So when he's been convicted, he got life in prison with a recommendation that he serve at least 19 years, right? And then he was put into Low Moss. So Low Moss had only been opened about a year or two, and I'd went there in 2012. Started off in Clyde 1 C section. And you'd see him in education. He'd start going up to education, and I remember reading what he'd said to the judge. He'd said, "I am not a criminal." That's the way you used to talk. And I used to sit in education to act to him, "Chico," and I'd be rocking back and forth from my chair like that, and I'd be going, "Chico, I am not a criminal." Sitting just noising the cunt up, right? But anyway, he ended up getting punched about. If somebody, can't mind who it was, somebody punched him about in education, and he got moved, right? And yeah, he get moved to Shots, right? It gets better. Get moved to Shots, and he's sitting in education one day, right? And a younger guy's walked up and put a spike right through him. I believe it was right through his shoulder. And obviously the screws have intervened and all that shit as they're meant to, do you know what I mean? And he was taken to, was it Wishaw General? I think when you're in Shots, if it's like a stab skull and whatever, you would probably go to Monklands or Wishaw General, because it's like, they're fucking right next to Shots, kind of, know what I mean? With the blade stuck, the spike was still sticking out him, you know what I mean? But I think the media were kind of saying it probably happened as revenge. It was a revenge attack because he would have done to his wife, and I don't know where the guy was fae who done this, right? But if I had to guess, the way he conducted himself in a Scottish prison would have been more than enough to warrant, take away what he was in for, right? Let's just say he was in for killing a cunt like myself, right? A cunt for a scheme, it was in whatever, right? Or a bar fight, whatever. He wouldn't have even had to have been in for something like that. see the way he walked about and conducted his celibate. I mean, he was completely oblivious to what he had done. He just seemed completely oblivious to it, and this is why cunts absolutely despised him. And that's the kind of, when I was talking on Sean Toll's podcast, like, prison is a parallel world. Society's rules don't apply. Prison is a society. Like, it's like a microcosm, and it's like a miniature. It's like a society within a society, innit? And the fact is, somebody watching this might think, oh my god, stabbing somebody's so horrendous, and like, and do you know what? Aye, it kinda is, innit? But, well, no kinda, right? It's happened to me more than once, and it's no fun, right? But, see, when you, nobody wants to be living in an environment where cunts are getting spiked on the daily, but see, when it's a cunt like him, like, fuck him. Just fuck him, innit? Do you know what I mean? Like, this isn't Iran, mate. A woman's got the fucking... She wants to fucking... Like, it might have been saying in court or something, she was too westernised. Like, what? And see, this is a mad thing, right? He tried to appeal his sentence. And I believe he went to Carstairs for an assessment. No slagging him for that, obviously. But he went there for an assessment, and they said that he had no underlying mental illnesses and all that. But right, and I know narcissistic personality disorder or even psychopathy isn't a mental illness. Do you know what I mean? It's not an illness. If you know what you're doing's wrong but just keep doing it anyway, that's not an illness. That's you just fucking, I'll do what I want, innit? Do you know what I mean? But he done that. When if I get convicted, I'm going back to Carstairs. I prefer that regime to the prison regime. You know what I mean? Like, no, mate. Maybe or the old country you can fucking bribe your way into the nut house, mate, but no can do or here, you know what I'm talking about? Just, the absolute hubris in this cunt was just off the fucking scales, man. And, sorry to say, but you don't need... I know you'll probably got all the... Maybe a cunt watching this, it's trained in... I'm trained to use... psychopathy checklist, and listen, mate, you don't need a fucking degree to know why the fucking wind's blowing, as I say, you know what I mean? Just ripping at him, mate. And hopefully his next shite, or his next 10 shites, are big cactuses. I was going to say cacti there, but it just sounds piping, even though that is the correct plural for a cactus. Cacti, but just cactuses, innit? Keep it simple. But absolute fucking animal to do that, do you know what I mean? I can't imagine what, like, some people, like, how does setting somebody in fire, your fucking kid's ma, and going to jail for the rest of your life? He will die in jail, he's in his 60s, he's not getting it. How's that a better option than just fucking going, no what? Fucking just split everything and fuck off. I'm sick of you. Whatever. I'll go and find somebody else or whatever. Like, I don't get it, man. It's just, I don't know. It's what they say, crime of passion, crime of this, crime of that. But no, mate, just setting somebody in fire is just fucking insane. That's just another level of fucking evil to me, man. Do you know what I mean? It's a shame. Do you know what I mean? Just absolutely horrendous. But fucking, he'll struggle everywhere he goes in the jail. He'd probably be fucking protectioned up by now. I don't know how he didn't go on protection to start with. Know what I mean? Maybe it's one of the ones like, I'm for Iran, what the fuck's the worst that could happen in Scotland, you know what I mean? Because they're there, they fucking hang you and all that, out in the square. Well, they get a crane. even people are convicted of fraud and all that are hung out there. Like, I'm into like reading about foreign prison systems and all that. Can't find too much on them, but because they're a dead kind of secret of society, especially when you're a Westerner, they think we're all spies and all that. So like, if you says you wanted to fucking do your PhD in Iran and go out there and study it, and fucking they would all think you were the government at least, maybe not the citizens, but they would think you were a spy, trust me, man. I'm right into reading a lot of shit today with like fucking the Middle East and all that, and it's a shift, it's dodgy, but it would be a beautiful place if it opened up and it wasn't full of fucking run by basically fucking cuckoo nutters, know what I mean? But just a sad outcome for a human life, know what I mean? And the trauma that they Waynes must have went through, I know, like, your daddy and that, you've made your Wayne's victims as well, you fucking scuzzbucket, know what I mean? Just a horrible wee bastard, the cunt, man, know what I mean? Imagine that, getting punched about in low moss and then getting up to shots and getting a spike through your fucking shoulder, know what I mean? Just, it's the way the prison works, know what I mean? And it's what I say, like, nobody wants to see things like that, know what I mean? Especially, like, sometimes I do berate myself, I'm like, you're meant to be fucking on trying to send the message out, and then you're sitting basically saying, fuck that cunt, I go stab in the jail, but like, I'm a big believer in what you put out, you bring back to you, know what I mean? It took me a long time to figure that out myself, but I figured it out, do you know what I mean? And if you're doing the type of things he was doing, no empathy at all, then fuck you, mate. You've no concern for human life, man. You're on another planet, mate. You set your ex-wife on fire with petrol, and then try to say it was because she asked you to buy petrol and there was a lighter lying next to her. Wasn't a naked flame. There was no naked flame, but you said the lighter combusted. And he says she threw a sponge at me doused in petrol. Like, what? What do you think we're all fucking buttoned up the back, you cunt? Know what I mean? Just a wee fucking poisoned the water, cunt. Know what I mean? Sorry for the rant, but it is what it is, innit, man? You meet some real yins in the jail, man, know what I mean? And he was definitely one of them, know what I mean? But, I hope fucking, I don't even want to say it, know what I mean? Like, because people don't heal for things like that. That's just a lifelong trauma. That's got to say, like, hope the kids are but you don't heal for something like that. I can only imagine, know what I mean? I wouldn't think you could. Maybe they're rebuilding their life and all that. I just hope they don't succumb to the demons, do you know what I mean? Because anybody that goes through it and like that's going to have demons in their life, man. Know what I mean? Had my own, never had anything like that happen, thank fuck, but you know what I mean? It's just fucking, it's just Disney Bear thinking of it, you know what I mean? But, as I say, I was going to do it live, but obviously with the three teams playing in the same night, it's like, fuck that, man, they can't watch that. Sitting talking to myself, nothing new there, but, that was a joke, but, it's only fucking start of the week anyway, so I will defo jump on there live, man, but see, cause of these Euros on now, I'm like, that no cunt's got to be a bit, you know what I mean? But to be fair, I've hardly watched it, I've watched like 4 games or something, total. Fucking, heed my spells elsewhere, innit? But I will leave yous to it, and hope yous are enjoying that fucking weather while it's here. I appreciate it, and just appreciate what you've got, man, because do you know what, life is fucking precious, innit? Freedom's precious, your kids are precious, do you know what I mean? Take time and smell the fucking roses, as they say, know what I mean? But yous all have a good night, and I will see you next time I'm on. Italy to win, Forza Italia. Come on, Italy. See you later.